Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, 8744. So today, guys, with Champions League being match day one being completed, I wanted to do my 10 teams that I think that could realistically win the Champions League. Okay, guys. So obviously, the higher you are in this list, the more likely you are to win the Champions League. And so, like I said, this is exclusive for you members only, guys. You members, I'm going to be doing a video for you guys, and everything. So hope you guys enjoy. And let me know your list in the comments below of your 10 teams. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's start with the first team we got here, guys. It is Manchester City. Manchester City, for me, are the strongest team in Europe. They're the best team in Europe, in my opinion. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, what about Real Madrid and this kind of stuff? For me, Manchester City are better than Real Madrid. I think man to man, they're a better team. I think they're just a better team. And I think the thing that held Man City back last season, the Real Madrid, was the pressure. I just think Man City was just under so much pressure in that Real Madrid game, and Real Madrid needed to make a statement after what happened last season in the Champions League after they got demolished on the second leg. So I feel like for this one in particular, guys, the only thing that can stop Man City is themselves. Man City is the only thing that can stop themselves is them. The only thing that can stop Man City is Man City themselves. Because Man City have the defense, they have the attack. But another one concern I have with Man City though is that their attack is good and all, but is it reliant on Erling Haaland? Because we saw how without Erling Haaland, guys, Man City don't look as penetrating or threatening attacking wise. So that is a little concern for me because you have to rely on players like Bernardo Silva, KDB. Man City is still going to be a team to look out for. I still think they're going to do well in this new Champions League. I still think they should at least make the quarterfinals, and and I expect them to win it. In fact, they're the team I have to win this year's Champions League. So I think Manchester City, like I said, the only thing can stop them in themselves. Next up, it is of course the defending champions, Real Madrid. Real Madrid, you can just never write this team off. It doesn't matter how bad Real Madrid or Real Madrid could be last place in La Liga and they could still win the Champions League. That's just how crazy Real Madrid is. Real Madrid is a team you can never write off. And I think the thing that's really going to be interesting this season, Real Madrid, is the pressure because now they're going to be is that can they defend their Champions League? Because we know defending your Champions League is very hard. The only team that's been able to defend their Champions League in the 21st century has been Real Madrid. No other team has been able to defend their Champions League other than Real Madrid. And so what I think for Real Madrid, what the key thing for them is how can they sustain that pressure? Can they deliver and be go as expected? And another also thing is that how Mbappe fares this team because Mbappe hasn't really been that amazing as we had thought he would be. And I think he's starting to kind of struggle. Now I think he's getting better and better as the games are going. I think he's improving his footballing ability. But my issue with Mbappe is that I don't think we've seen the best Mbappe. We haven't seen Mbappe reach his form what he did at Monaco because that was the best version I've seen of Mbappe in his entire career at club level at least. That version of the right wing Mbappe is probably one of the best Mbappes. I don't think Mbappe's been the same since then. So and I still don't know if I really like Mbappe as a striker, as a solo striker. I think if you want to play Mbappe as a striker, you got to play him a two-man striker, or you got to play him as a left winger and put Vinicius up top. So this is a big problem for Carlo Ancelotti, and I think that's pretty much the only thing that's holding his Real Madrid team back is how will Mbappe impact his team? Will Mbappe have that huge impact? Because we know Real Madrid is good off defensively. We know Real Madrid is that kind of team. They have that Gid character in them. So I think Real Madrid is a team to look out for. I think they're going to obviously make it far. I would expect semifinals. I'm going to say semifinals for Real Madrid this season. But yeah, the Real Madrid should at least make the semis, in my opinion, of the Champions League. Number three is Inter. Now, I've been hearing a lot of Inter disrespect, guys. Inter, for me, is one of the most disrespected teams in the European top leagues. This team is well culminated. This team has the players. The only thing that's letting this Inter team down is the squad depth. Inter don't have great squad depth compared to, your Man Cities, your Real Madrid. I would even say, Barca and Bayern. But what makes Inter so good is that defensively they're very tough to break down. Inzaghi's a very good coach. I rate Inzaghi very highly, guys. I think he's one of the Europe's best coaches right now in the world. I think he's just up there. The only issue is the players are letting him down, like likes of Dora, likes Arnautovic, etc. Like Inter just don't have a good squad depth, and I think that's a big problem for Inter is that the players are going to let themselves down, and I think that's what's going to be Inter's Achilles is the squad depth, the injuries, because I think for me, Inter have a very good defense. I rate Inter's defense very highly. It's just the big problem for them is they just don't have those players compared to your Man City or Real Madrid. They just don't have those kind of quality players. Like the best player, they do have a lot of good players, like a lot of good players, but not, I wouldn't say any like world class players. Like I think the only world class players you could probably say are on this Inter team are probably like Tara Martinez, maybe Barella, you could say, and maybe Bastoni. The rest are like good. You know, Thuram is good. I think Chalanahu is good. I would say Pavard is good, Sommer is good, but I wouldn't say these guys are world class. And that's a big problem with this Inter team is that they don't have a lot of world class players to win the Champions League. So I think they can make it far in the Champions League. Absolutely. Do I think they could win it? Probably not, but they have a good chance. I'd actually say they're the third best in Europe. Fourth, Fourth place is Liverpool. I think Liverpool is a sleeper team, guys. I think people are right to fall for Liverpool this season, and I think this is a team that could make it very far in the new Champions League format. And also keep in mind, guys, Liverpool weren't in the Champions League last season, so we don't know what Liverpool would have done. And the thing for Liverpool, I've noticed in the recent Champions League editions, is that every time they go far, they've always been knocked out by Real Madrid. Real Madrid has always been the team that's been knocking them out. I believe they knocked them out to 22-23. I believe 21-22 was also knocked out by Real Madrid. And then, yeah, I believe that. No, no wait. Yeah, in the final. The 2021, that was also knocked out by Real Madrid basically owned Liverpool in the last couple of Champions League. Because excluding Real Madrid, guys, Liverpool have done very well. Liverpool have done very well. And the last time a team outside of Real Madrid, I believe, is beating Liverpool in the Champions League across two legs was Atletico Madrid. And let's be real, we all know Atletico Madrid basically did it because of the goalkeeper, what's like Adrian. Adrian messed up the second leg. And so I think Liverpool, for me, they have a great team. They have a great squad. My only concern for Liverpool is I just worry about the attack because that's where I have my biggest issues are. I think the defense are great. I think Van Dijk Konate is good. I think the midfield is great. Gravenberch, McAllister is good. It's just the attack that worries me is that who else besides Salah is going to step up? We know Salah is a game changer. We know how good he is. Are the other players going to step up? Can I really trust Nunes to win a Champions League? Can I really trust these kind of players? Luis Diaz is good, but is he world class? I'm not really sure about that. That's the problem with Liverpool is that there's kind of question marks over the attack in particular because the only world class attacker they have is Salah. Now Diaz is a great player. I rate Diaz very high. I think he's a great player, but I don't think he's world class. I think he's like just a tier below world class. And to win the Champions League, you need world class players. You need world class players. So Liverpool, for me, I think they'll do well at the Champions League. And as long as they avoid Real Madrid, they could probably make it far, guys. Because Real Madrid is basically destroyed. If they play against Real Madrid, it's Joe over, essentially. Next team I have is Barcelona, fifth place. Barcelona, I think, have a great chance. The only issue for Barcelona is the squad depth and the mentality. That's another big concern I have with Barcelona is that these players just don't have the mentality in them. And we saw against Monaco when they went down at 10 men, it almost seemed like they accepted defeat. They gave up and said, you know what, we lost the game. It's over. And that's something I think Hansi Flick has to change is that if we really want to see Barca win the Champions League, we have to change this losing mentality, this losership mentality of the team. And everyone in Europe has to raise their level because Ter Stegen is a great goalkeeper. Ter Stegen for me is a great keeper. It's just the problem is for some reason in big games, especially in Champions League, the guy just doesn't perform. I just don't know what's up with him because the guy is amazing league wise. Like league wise, he's up there as probably one of the best goalkeepers in the top five leagues. I would even say. But it's just that if you're including all the games, like the European games, the guy just doesn't perform in Europe. I'm sorry, I don't know what's up with him in Europe. Europe, he's just awful. It's just really shocking to me a goalkeeper of this quality is this bad in European games. You know, and another issue I have with Barca is a squad depth, or it's not squad depth. Sorry, injuries. We've had a lot of injuries, guys. We've had a lot of injuries, and I think that's a big issue for this Barca team is that how many players are going to get injured throughout the season? Because at the time of recording this video, I believe we have like 5 or 6 players injured, and we're only just starting the season. Like it's only been 1 month. It's only been like around 1.5 months, and we've already sustained this amount of injuries. Just imagine when we get to the latter stages, like February, March, and everything. Like how many of those injuries are going to pile up? That's my problem with Barcelona is that I think Hansi Flick is a good coach, but I just think that for me, for Barca, the big issue I have with them is I just don't trust the mentality, and I don't trust the squad injury issues. Because I believe if Barca is fully fit, we can make a far in this Champions League. I believe we have the squad. I believe we have the players. It's just that I don't know how. It's hard to say this team's potential with so many injured players and everything like that, which is why I put them fifth. Next was Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich sixth. Fun for every guys. The Champions League final that's going to take place this year is going to take place at the Allianz Arena this season. Sorry, should I say? So Bayern for me, They have to make it far in this Champions League format. And last season was a bit of a disappointment. But you know what's crazy, guys? As bad as Bayern were last season, underwhelming they were, they still made the semifinals. Well, they haven't made the semifinals since the season they won the Champions League. Like that was the first season they made it, which is crazy. My issue with Bayern Munich though is I just don't know if I can trust Company to win the Champions League. I just can't trust Company. I'm sorry. He's a good coach and all. He's a decent coach, but I just don't think he's ready to win the Champions League. You know, making the jump from Burnley to win the Champions League, it just doesn't seem right. You know, and Bayern obviously have a lot of heritage. You know, you have a lot of good players like Mueller, Kane, Neuer, and they made a lot of good signs. Like Olise has been amazing. Paulinho has been great. You know, my problem with Bayern Munich though is just I don't rate the defense. I think the defense of Bayern is very suspect. I don't rate that defense whatsoever. Upamecano, Kim Min Jae, it's a very volatile defense in my opinion. And even though Neuer is still amazing and everything, I still feel like Neuer is you could start to see his decline. And remember, he just recently announced his international retirement, so I'm assuming he's going to retire his club retirement in the next few seasons. So Neuer is getting down there. And so I just think for Bayern Munich, man, my biggest issue with them is I just don't rate the defense and the coach. But Bayern definitely have the chance to win the Champions League. I'll definitely put them sixth. Seventh is Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid, guys, is this team that always could do well in the Champions League. My big issue with Atletico Madrid, though, is that away from home, they're a basura. Away from home, they're basura. And for those that don't know what basura means, it means trash. They're garbage away from home. At home, Atletico Madrid's a beast. This is a perfect example, guys. Atletico Madrid is like your prime Brazil. Your Jogo Bonito Brazil at home. Then when it comes to away from home, they're like San Marino. Like that's what they are essentially. Like I just don't understand why Atletico Madrid is so trash away and so amazing at home. It just doesn't make sense to me. Because if Atletico Madrid was so amazing on the road, oh guys, they could have probably made some Champions League finals and maybe potentially won it. It's just the issue for Atletico Madrid is they just don't seem to turn up in the Champions League when it matters the most. And and the recent years with Simeone, they've been getting knocked out by teams like Dortmund. They've been getting knocked out to teams like Porto. And what's crazy, guys? There was a long record that Simeone had that he's never been eliminated by a team that didn't have Cristiano Ronaldo over two legs. That record is now gone now because with Chelsea, with Dortmund now, like I don't know when Atletico Madrid. I feel like they're starting to slowly decline. But the thing with Atletico Madrid is I put them in the top 10 is mainly because of how good they are at home. And Griezmann's a game changer, guys. Griezmann's so amazing. The problem for Atletico Madrid though is that I need to see other players step up. It can't just be Griezmann all the time, you know. So that's why I'm a little skeptical on Atletico Madrid, and that's why I can't put them any higher. So I think seventh is about fair as I can get. Eighth is Arsenal. I'm not even sure if I should put Arsenal on this list, but I had to put this list because Arsenal are, they're one of the biggest clubs in England. But you know what's crazy, guys? Arsenal have never won a European trophy. They haven't won a Europa League. That's crazy. I can excuse maybe the Champions League because, Atletico Madrid have won the Champions League at least. Sorry, Europa League at least. But Arsenal, you guys haven't won any European trophies. Not even the Europa League. And the likes of Villarreal, the likes of Atalanta, the likes of Sevilla won it more recently. It's crazy. For Arsenal, I think the issue I have with Arsenal is kind of like what I said with Atletico Madrid. I don't think Arsenal's that great on the road. Arsenal's defense is amazing. Their attack is very underwhelming. And that's my big issue with Arsenal is that I just feel like this team, they're going to give it their best. And I think they can make it far. Can I see them winning the Champions League? Not really. I just don't think they have the mentality nor the squad capable of winning the Champions League. And because I feel like they're going to be more focused on the Premier League than the Champions League, that also is another thing to consider, like which you're going to prioritize. Because let's be real, guys, Arsenal fans, you're not going to win both. You're not going to win both the Champions League and the Premier League. You have to pick and choose. And for me, if I'm Arsenal, I would choose the Premier League since I think the Premier League is easier, whereas Champions League is much harder. And plus, let's be real, guys. This is Arsenal's second season back in the Champions League for some time now. So it's going to take some time for Arsenal to really develop pedigree in this competition. So for me, for Arsenal, man, I'm going to say probably like a quarterfinals. I think quarterfinals will be good. Oh, yeah, actually, I forgot to tell you guys how far these teams can go. Let me just quickly do that. So Inter, I'm going to say semifinals. Liverpool, I'm going to say semifinals. Barca, quarterfinals. Bayern, I'm going to say. I'm going to say they make this. Do I see them making the final? I feel like they should, but I'm going to say semifinals. Atletico Madrid, I'm going to say probably like around 16, honestly. Arsenal, I'm probably going to say around 16. So, yeah. Ninth, I got Juventus. Juventus for me, I think they have a good team, but the issue for Juventus, like I said, they're kind of bumps in Champions League for keeping it real, guys. Juventus midfield is great, and I think their defense is good. It's just that attack I don't really rate that highly. Besides Vlahovic, I don't really see any of the consistent goal scorers, and I feel like it's a bit too early for Theo Mozza. I think Juventus should at least make the round of 16. The 10th is PSG. Now, guys, there's a certain narrative that's going around the campfire. If PSG wins the Champions League without Mbappe, what does that say on Mbappe? Because, dude, if that happens for Mbappe, Mbappe's career, Mbappe's legacy at PSG is finished. He has, like, it will look so bad. Let's be real, I don't expect to see PSG win the Champions League. They do look a lot more balanced, though. They do look a lot more cohesive. They don't look as structured or as rigid. They look a lot more free flowing. But like I said with PSG, I still don't think they're good enough. I still feel like this team needs a striker. They haven't really replaced Mbappe. And you're trying to bring in Asensio and Moani. I'm sorry, those guys are not comparable to Mbappe whatsoever. And I really wonder how PSG is going to really feel the departure of Mbappe when it comes to the knockout stage, because PSG are generally good in the group stage. Though, I mean, we have a new format, but I expect PSG to at least get knocked around playoffs at the very least. So I'm just worried about PSG in the knockout stage. So there you guys go, man. Those are my 10 teams, man. Those are my power rankings. I want to know your power rankings in the comments below. And for PSG, I'm going to say around 16. That should be the bare minimum for them. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe. Let me know your 10th comments below. And yeah, let me know if you guys also enjoy this members video. Peace out, guys.